Okay, we good? All right, you guys ready? Welcome. So, what we're going to do first, we will go over the InBody scan. I'll kind of go over all of yours and read through it item by item. We're going to talk about what the challenge is, what the point system is. We're going to talk about the HSN app, which we'll use for the challenge. We'll have weekly themes. Today we're going to take some time, talk about goal setting, action steps, and also macronutrients, the plate method, meal plans, which you all have, and then some important dates coming up. All right, so try to have you leaving here with a good idea of what's going on, but also under the idea or concept that there's a lot of information and that it'll be coming. So don't worry about having everything to start. It'll be coming. All right, so let me just do this. The InBody sheet, if you look at the bottom right of the sheet, above the body composition history, you'll see the impedance. All right, this is where you want to check first. This is just our spot check to make sure that the results are correct. All right, so in each column, the numbers should go down. So for RA, I'm looking at 229 and then 202. It goes down. Okay, that's fine. LA, 234 to 207, it goes down. Okay, so it doesn't matter what the numbers are as long as the higher number is higher than the lower number. Cool. Everyone's good with that? If it's not like that, we toss it out. We take another reading. Cool. Okay, so moving on. At the top, under InBody, you'll see ID, age, height, gender, date, and time. Those are your particulars. That ID number is what we'll plug back in for you to get a follow-up reading. The bottom right shows the body composition history. So you can kind of see mine has more details there. All right, so as you go on again and again, you get more readings, more results. All right, so the main numbers, you've got the weight in kilograms, the skeletal muscle mass in kilograms, and the body fat in kilograms. And you'll have those bar graphs there. This is what we talk about between having a C, an I, or a D. Our goal as coaches is to give you the D. Thanks, Ali. It's kind of hard to see. Mine is more D-shaped. So as you have more muscle, less fat, you get more D-shaped, right? Which is kind of our goal. So that's okay. Don't worry about what it is. Just to give you an idea, the back of the sheet kind of goes over a lot of this as well. So on the right of that area, you'll see the normal ranges. This is World Health Organization standards for your age and height. So that's like kind of the normal ranges. Normal doesn't necessarily mean healthy. It just means normal. What's normal for that range? All right. So yeah, the ranges are good. It's not necessarily a bad thing to be having more muscle than the range or to have less fat than the range. That's okay. That's just the normal range. Makes sense? Okay. So the weight is simply the body weight. That's the same thing you'll see when you step on a scale. Skeletal muscle mass is how much muscle is on your body, right? And body fat mass is how much fat is on your body. Down below that, you'll have the total body water, which is in liters, which is also in kilograms, because it's the same thing. Good old metric system. That's got the range there. Usually we don't worry about it too much unless you're below the range. Is anyone under the range? Yeah, above I think you don't need to really worry about. All right, next to that, you have the FFM, the fat-free mass. That is simply your weight minus your fat. Right? If you do the quick math, you'll see it makes sense. Now, down to the obesity analysis. You've got the first one is the BMI. We don't care too much about that, but it's kind of a good indicator. BMI is simply your weight relative to your height. So that takes in 0 account of muscle mass. Right? That's a good number if I want to compare like the obesity analysis of Malaysia to Singapore. That's a great number. I can look at a population. It'll give me a good idea. If I want to look at Lucy, it doesn't give me shit. So we don't worry about that too much. The next one is what we worry about, the percent body fat. So this is your percent body fat. It's the kilograms of body fat mass divided by the fat or the total mass. Okay. So for pretty much everyone, what we're looking to do we want to either decrease percent body fat or keep it the same, probably decrease, while increasing muscle mass. Right? Probably everyone is happy to put on more muscle. That's cool. And then most of you are going to be happy to be reducing body fat mass as well. Not everyone. Okay. And that's fine. If someone says they want to get tone, that's just some tagline for adding muscle, reducing fat. You don't tone your muscles. You just add on muscles, reduce fat to reveal the muscles. Cool. That's the major stuff. That's what we care about. That's what we're looking for. Essentially, those three numbers: weight, SMM, body fat mass, which then you can calculate percent body fat. The other stuff is bells and whistles. Don't worry about it too much. The segmental lean mass and the segmental fat mass is just trying to kind of estimate where the muscle and fat are. You might find if you've had some sort of injury, you'll see, or played a specific sport, you'll see a difference in the lean muscle mass from like left side to right side. A small difference, like in the hundreds, not a big deal. That's not really a difference. If you're like in the 0.3-ish range of a difference, that'll be kind of a bigger difference. Mine, like I'm 4.45 here, 4.48. I'm sorry, 4.45, 4.48 here, because I played a lot of racket sports. And I built up that right side for years. Okay. Segmental fat is estimated. It doesn't usually show much difference from side to side. And they're giving you ranges on that as well. All right, up to the right side, waist to hip ratio. It's a ratio of your waist to your hips. It'll be obviously estimated, just trying to be in that normal range. I'm actually over. Visceral fat, you want to have below a 10. That's the fat inside wrapped around your organs. All right, so you want that below a 10. And then the BMR, the basal metabolic rate. Pay attention for this one. This is the one that gets people a little bit confused. So this is a calorie count. This is how many calories you burn being alive, laying in bed, not moving. This is what you burn by laying, breathing. That's it. Okay? So that's not how many calories you should eat in a day. Don't get those confused. You need more calories than that. Right? You do more than lay in bed all day. Right? That's the basal metabolic rate. That's an estimate of how many calories you burn just functioning human processes. Right? Just breathing, essentially. On top of that, you would add like energy or exercise energy expenditure. You would add the cost of digestion. You would put about just 10% on top of that number just for digesting food that you eat, because it takes a good amount of energy just to digest the food. All right? So that's not what you should be eating. You should be eating more than that. Just gives you that idea. Most any kind of like calorie-based diet will start with that number and add up from there. Below that, you'll have InBody's recommendation saying how much fat you should gain or how much muscle you should lose. Other way around, how much muscle you should gain, how much fat you should lose. Cool. That's just a recommendation. The fitness score is kind of a not arbitrary, proprietary number from InBody. Theoretically, if you do what I said, increase muscle, decrease fat, that score will go up. Right? I don't know what 100 is. I don't have it. Cool. And then, what if I compare Carrie and I? More fit. All right. And then we already went over the impedance. Bottom right, you've got that body composition history. That will just print out the details. That's the weight, the skeletal muscle mass, and the body fat mass. Those are the numbers we care about. You can calculate the percent body fat from that. All right. Details on the back if you want to read up on that. All right. We are going to record this whole thing. So you can watch it later if you want. But we have people that aren't here or people back in America doing the challenge. Hi, Mom. So we'll post up for that. Cool. All right. Moving on. So for the challenge, every day you're going to be logging points. You're going to be able to earn points every day. We have 6 categories for that. All right. What we're going to have, we will be sending out a link to you. It will be simply a Google form set up where you'll select your name, you'll select your points for each of the categories, and select the date and click submit. Okay?
If you did the challenge before, it's the same sort of Google form, but the prove that things have changed in it if you've done it in the past. Okay.
Yep, so this is not the same as the last time. We are running off of a 3-point system, so you can earn 3 points in each category every day. So there's 6 categories. You can earn 3 points in each. That's 36 points. And we will probably be tossing out some bonus points that you can earn as well. So you can even get more than that, potentially. All right. First category is eating balanced meals. We're going to go over how to figure out what a balanced meal is a little bit more. But the idea with this one, you can get 3 out of 3 points if 3 of your meals per day or all of your meals for that day are balanced. Okay. You can get 2 out of 3 if 2 or all but 1 are balanced. 1 out of 3 if you've done 1 meal, right? And then this category, we have the subtraction option. So that'll be for your cheats, right? This challenge, if you did the last one, we're not going to have like a food list, right? What you guys do have in your thingies there is this sheet here. I would say, we're going to call it red stuff? No, not the red stuff might be okay. Like bananas are fine. It'd be like sugary. If you go have a piece of cake, -1. Makes sense? Right? Trying to eat pretty whole foods. We'll be going over that more and more too. Second category is food logging. We have essentially 3 to 4 options for you for food logging. 1, you can log in MyFitnessPal. We'll have some videos up how to do that. All right, some of you have done it. Some of you had no idea what it is. MyFitnessPal is an online application. You can do it from your computer or from your phone, where you can go search for food. You can be like, I had a banana. It was a medium size, and boom, it will say, okay, you had this many calories, this many carbs, this many protein, this many fats. Right? And you can put whole meals in there. Gives you a really good idea of everything you're eating. Right? It's a pain in the ass, especially if you're new to it. It's hard to put together, right? But it can be pretty useful. It's kind of a trade-off. The more you use it, the easier it is, because it starts to find your history and stuff too, and it will like recommend you, oh, you had this for breakfast yesterday. Do you want to plug it in for today? And you say, yes, done. Okay. MyFitnessPal is going to be one option. Another option is simply going to be to take photos of your food, keep a photo journal. All right. Third option will be either to use this sheet here, the food and exercise log. Right. So you see this is 1 week worth that we gave you. You're just going to write down what you ate, when you had it, what the portion size was, and how you felt from it. And then any exercise for the day, you can use that too. All right, or you can just keep a written journal. Well, you don't have to use this form. But that's the goal. You're trying to keep one of those methods. So 3-point system. If you log everything you ate for a day, you get 3 points. If you log most of the things you ate for the day, maybe you missed a few things, 2 points. If you only logged one thing, 1 point. Right? It's a little arbitrary. You can decide where you are in the middle of those. If you didn't log anything, no points. Right? So if it's 11:59 and you're like, oh shit, I haven't done anything, you can say banana. If you had a banana, you can still get 1 point.
Not hint. That any of you would ever do that.
Hint, hint. Cool. Moving on. Third category is sleep. You get 7+ hours, you get 3 points. If you get 6+ hours, you get 2 points. 5+ hours, you get 1 point. Less than 5 hours, no points. Hey Jim, do naps count? Yeah, naps count. I love naps when I can take them. Yeah, so you can load up with naps. Sleep, be honest with it. It will be from last night to today. Will be today's sleep, right? So whatever you slept last night. If you top up with naps, you can top up with naps. If you have a tracker, you can follow that. They're going to be a little bit tighter than like if you go to bed and wake up at a time, right? So I'm not too fussed on being overly anal about it. If you go to bed at 11, sleep can start when the lights are off and you're going to sleep. It doesn't have to be like when you fell asleep. Make sense? Right? And then when you wake up.
Doesn't have to be at night, right?
No.
Stop working night shift.
Good luck with that. Good question, though. So even if you are on that trick shift working overnight, you still need sleep. Right? Body wants routine. Body wants circadian routine, right? But it wants routine as well. So if you can sleep when the sun's down and be awake when the sun's up, good. Trying to do that same thing from day to day, same time day to day is going to help your body function better. But can you function nocturnally? Yeah, right? Still want to try to keep a rhythm though. So you still want to go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time, that kind of thing, as much as you can.
The Pepper's newsletter had a whole big thing about sleep. Check that out if you've not already.
Yep. Dark room too. So I go for a dark room. All right, sleep, hydration. You guys all have this 6-week challenge handbook, which goes over a lot of this stuff. I will let you read that afterward. It's going to go over a lot of what we're touching on now, though, too. We are not going to do the same thing they said. It's American. They said 80 plus ounces. We'll get more specific with it. I want you guys to drink 30 to 40 milliliter or more per kilogram of body mass. Okay? So your water needs are kind of correlated to your body size. Not necessarily muscle, not necessarily fat. Everything needs water, so it's straight up the mass of your body. All right, so 30 to 40 mil based on that. So say I'm 80 kilo. I want to have 2.4 to 3.2 liters per day. 80 times 30 to 80 times 40.
And then how do you manage that so that maybe like if you're sweating a whole lot, like
Yeah.
outside,
Yep.
exercising,
Yeah.
running in?
So 30 to 40 is a pretty big range, and if you're sweating more, you drink more. Yep. Okay.
You're going to be upwards of that 40.
Yeah.
Like where I drink 3, 4, 5 liters a day.
Yeah. And we're in Malaysia. It's hot. You sweat. Yeah, you're gonna need probably more. Okay. Yeah, so that's a good one. So if you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night to pee, you're probably having water too late or potentially too much water. Yeah. Yeah. So 1 to 2 hours before bed is a good time to stop drinking water. Yeah. But you also want to get to that point well. All right. So you want to be hydrated to that point so you have that water. All right. And the best thing you can do is wake up with a glass of water. You've just had some sort of like 8-hour block where you haven't put any fluid in your body. It's like an on-off switch, to be honest, if you're not in the habit. If you're in the habit of having water, it's just like everything starts working better. Cool. All right, so we put this as another negative category. So we'll call it the drinking category. 1 beer, -1. 1 cocktail, -1. 1 Starbucks. Sorry? Yeah. One glass of wine, -1. So 1 serving is -1. If you have a Starbucks mocha latte frappuccino, whatever it is, -1. So, okay. She's yelling at me to hurry up, right? Okay. Sugary drinks, alcoholic drinks, -1. Okay? Make sense? Right now, no. As I said, we're gonna have some like challenge like other ones. So we might have ways you can earn your wine.
Yes.
So sugary means like calorie like dense with sugar because there's a lot of like Coke Zero or some other like flavor enhancers that are 0 calories but it's still sweet or even like protein powder.
Yeah. Yeah, do we want to go with that?
So yeah, I'm just wondering.
That's a good question. I'll come back to it. Let me think. We'll clarify. We need to clarify protein with like sweeteners, Coke Zero, all that other great stuff for you. Yeah.
But we can only lose 3 points in a day, right?
Well, no,
So
because I don't want to build something where you guys are losing. I want to build something where you guys are winning. So we'll come back to it. We'll figure it out. All right, good question. Can you just take note of any of those for us? So exercise, trying to keep this relatively simple. If you actively exercise for 30 plus minutes a day, you get 3 points, right? So CrossFit counts, right? If you go for a run or whatever, it counts. If you go play tennis, it counts. If you go play golf, it counts. If you go for a 30-minute walk, it counts. Okay? It doesn't have to be high intensity. We don't want you guys to over-exercise. We want you to exercise. But that said, even active recovery, you should be moving, right? If you're on a recovery day, it doesn't mean you just hang out and do nothing. It means you move. Cool? So, try to equate this to steps too. So if you get your 10K steps in a day, if you're wearing a fitness tracker, cool, that counts as your 3 points. If you're wearing a fitness tracker, you have not gotten your 30 minutes of exercise, but you've gotten 8,000 steps, then you get 2 points. And if you've gotten 6,000 steps, you get 1 point. Okay? So we will also equate that back to kind of like a 1, 2, 3 point thing. So 30 minutes is your 3 point. If you've done, 2/3 of that kind of thing, you can get 2 points. Or if you've been pretty active that day, you can get 2 points. If you've done only a little bit, you get 1 point. If you sat at your desk and then sat on the couch, you get 0. Cool?
Does that include the like workouts, CrossFit? Because like sometimes I do wear my watch when I do rowing, I row like 3 kilometers, but it's staying like something because I'm.
If you've done that 30 minutes of exercise, then
Which is the 1 hour class. So then I get 3 points if I do the.
Yeah. If you come to CrossFit, if you come to yoga, gymnastics, any of our stuff in here, yeah, automatically 3 points. If you go do a spin class or something, automatically 3 points. Okay? Pilates, I don't.
rest days for people that don't do CrossFit, you have to give that another way to look at it.
You're saying if you spend 30 minutes bodybuilding, does it count?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It counts. I just did some bench press yesterday. Felt good. Okay. Questions on that one? All right. Weekly bonus. We will have a category to be confirmed every week. We will announce it on Sunday or Monday. Okay. And there'll be a weekly category with its own kind of stuff. That's going to be good things for you. What you guys will notice here, only 2 of these things talk about food, right? It's not just food. It's sleep, it's hydration, and it's exercise too. All right, and there's other things on that as well. There's like de-stressing type of stuff, things like meditation or just relaxing. A good week we might do is maybe like developing some sort of bedtime ritual, some way that you can get better sleep. We might do something like meal prep, so being prepared to get your good foods, that kind of stuff. Yeah, we talked about that. All right, good with that?
Are we going to talk about the macros breakdown later?
Or keep going. Keep going. Don't keep asking questions. Don't answer every question.
So about like intermediate fasting. Intermittent fasting.
Yeah, wait for it. Okay, so moving on. All this is going to be done through the HSN app. You all, unless you just showed up this morning or signed up late last night, will have gotten the invite to that. We sent them through about noontime yesterday. All right, so who's logged in? Who's set it up? Hey, good job doing your homework. You get it. Yeah, coaches were already in. Okay. All right, so check your email. You should have that. Everyone needs to be into that. That's how everything's working. That's how all the information's coming from. That's where we're sending everything to, right? Last challenge, we did it all based on emails. This time, no, it's going to be all in that app, okay? In the app, all the communication. So we will send you guys messages. We can send you private messages. We also have a challenge group. So everyone's in the group together, right? Most of that communication will happen in the group, right? It links right up to MyFitnessPal. It's pretty, right? It just pulls it in, and it shows you bar graphs. These are how many calories you've eaten. These are your macro breakdowns. You've had 30% protein, 30% fat, 40% carbs, something like that. And you'll see it nicely laid out, right? If you choose to go that route. But the document uploads, like meal plan and stuff, will be in there as well. We'll get the soft copies of things. All right. And the big one is the training videos. So we've been recording a lot of videos the past few months. You'll be seeing both of us. You're locked in now. coming in and talking about stuff. It would be either about the weekly themes. It would be first weeks. We'll talk about like goal setting and action steps, stuff like that. So these are built in. The app is kind of like it's set up like an exercise app. So when you see your exercises for today, it doesn't mean squats and stuff. It means watch these videos. Okay. All right. And you will tick off. Like you can say, done. What does it say when you do it? You guys remember? Yeah, it's like you check in, which means you've watched them. Cool. That's like the crux of this challenge. Sure, this is how we're doing it, but it's all like information based, and there is going to be a ton of great information in there. All right. All right, weekly themes. We're going to have loose themes for every week. First week will be focused on whole foods. We'll also do like goal setting and action steps. Second week, drink up. We'll talk about drinking. We'll dig more into like that kind of stuff. Coke Zero, caffeine, alcohol, artificial sweeteners, stuff like that. Week 3, snacking for success. Yep, so that week we'll talk about what you can have for snacks. We'll also dig into traveling, I think. So we'll look at what to do when you travel. Week 4, accountability partners. So looking at accountability, either it might be with a coach or it might be with a family or someone else, right? Group of friends. You're going to be much more successful with all this stuff the more people you get on board with that journey with you. Fueling around workouts, so how to fuel for performance, and then focusing on the long game in the last week, what to do, where to go from here. Cool. All right, let's talk macros. All right, how we doing? 8:42, not bad. All right. Yeah, I know. So, I'm gonna go over this. We'll go over that later. All right, macronutrients. You've probably heard of it. If you don't know of them, there are 3. Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Right? What they are, why they're called macronutrients, that is where you get your calories from. That's where your energy comes from, those 3 categories, essentially. Right? Those 3 categories also break down into smaller categories. We're not going to go over that too much, but we'll touch on it. Right? Like carbohydrates, you have higher glycogen and lower glycogen ones, like that. More dense sugars, less dense sugars. Right? Carbs are sugar. Can you hear me, Silash? Call me. Okay. So, like chemically speaking, sugars are carbs. Carbs are sugars. That's what they break down to. Glucose is our body's main energy source, right? If you're burning energy, that's where the body wants to pull it from first. It's the preferred method for energy. So carbs mean energy. They are not just sugar, right? Carbs are vegetables. Anything a vegetable is mostly predominantly carbohydrate. So tomatoes, spinach, carrots, capsicum, whatever, that's all carbohydrate for the most part. Grains and starches too. So you're talking about rice, any type of like flour, seed kind of thing. So wheat flour, quinoa, mostly carbohydrate. You starchier vegetables, so like potatoes, sweet potatoes, that kind of thing. What we'll talk about with carbs is breaking them down into kind of those 2 categories, the more dense ones and the least dense ones. So anything vegetable that's not starchy, like not potato, not sweet potato, the more the merrier. Eat it. Eat all the vegetable you can get. Eat lots of colors. Right? We talk about macronutrients, micronutrients are like vitamins and minerals. You get more micronutrients by eating more variety of food. Okay? What we're going to look to limit is obviously just like straight up sugar, but also the starchier carbs. Nothing wrong with them, but especially if you're looking for weight loss, pulling back on those will often help. They're very energy dense, very calorically dense. Kind of thing. Proteins, building blocks of the body. Right? You need protein. Protein is very important for building new muscle, for building anything in the body. Right? It's the building block. It's what goes together to make you whole, right? So if you're trying to add muscle and you don't have sufficient protein in your diet, you won't be able to add muscle. Right? Muscle is expensive. It's like really expensive real estate. You need to be able to afford it. Affording muscle means you need to sleep. Right? You need to be hydrated. You need to have enough protein. You have to have enough fuel in general. Yeah, stuff like that. Proteins break down into the amino acids, which also separate into essential amino acids. So an amino acid is a protein. It's kind of like the micronutrients I was saying. You want to have a varied source of them. You need all of them, right? And then the essential amino acids are essential because your body can't synthesize them. So we need to get them from our diet. We can't make them from other sources. So that said, that's why, you hear big debates about vegetarian, vegan meat eaters, right? You get a very wide variety of protein sources from meat sources. You will kind of automatically tick off all those amino acids you need. Good, it's easy. It is possible to get that from a vegetarian source. It's just harder. Okay? But it is possible. It's okay. Nothing wrong with it. Anyone vegetarian? Besides other vegetarian? Anyone vegan? All right, one more. We do have separate meal plans we can give you guys too that are not meat based. All right. Fats. I love this one. I saw the meme the other day. All right. We have fat. We all have fat. We all also have elbows. Okay. It makes sense, right? So you are not fat. You have fat, just like you are not elbow. Right? Doesn't make any sense. Fat is very important. Fat is like brain runs on fat. Fat makes up a lot of like the cell membrane, cell structure. Very important for the body. Is also important for satiation. So you feel fuller longer with fat in your diet. Right? It takes longer to break down to turn into energy. Right? So it'll be in your system a little bit longer. Good things about that, you feel fuller longer. Bad things about that is like it may slow you down if you're exercising. So we'll usually say try not to have fats right before a workout and afterwards. Okay. Other thing about fat, it is hugely calorically dense. All right, it's more than twice as dense as the proteins and carbs. So 1 gram of carbohydrates and 1 gram of protein is equal to about 4 calories. 1 gram of fats is equal to 9 calories. So it's more than twice as much calorically dense, just to give you an idea. That's why you'll see probably in the meal plan, it'll be like 6 nuts because they're very dense. All right, so we have 2 to 3 main ways for you guys to plan your balanced meals. All right, the big one, the really, we'll talk about the plate method first. So the plate method is simple. It's in the handbook. It's also written here, and it is why you guys have your 3-compartment containers. Boom, so fancy. All right. So these are probably, about right. All right, the idea, half your plate, 50% of your plate is going to be vegetables. All right, so fresh, well, it can be cooked, fine, but vegetables. So that's your broccoli, carrots, anything green, capsicum, tomatoes, what have you, all that good stuff, right? Load up, eat as much as you want. Eat this first, right? This is gold for your body. It's what it wants. Next, you're going to have a quarter of your plate or your 3-compartment container is going to be your starch or your carbohydrates. So you're looking at rice, quinoa, sweet potato, that kind of stuff here. And then a quarter is going to be your lean protein. So for the most part, some sort of meat is what you're going to look for. Vegetarian side will be a little bit different. Yeah. So okay, meat sources. You can see them on that chart there. I'll go over that next. Chicken, pork, beef, fish, seafood, eggs for the most part. Vegetarian sources, tofu, tempeh, seitan, that kind of stuff. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Okay, so the question is the stuff on top, like gravy, sauce, that kind of thing. All right, one thing you'll notice missing from this plate is fat, right? Because usually things are cooked in fat, so you don't have a separate container for the fat, or if you did, it would be very, very small, and you wouldn't include it in other things. So, yeah, to have a little bit, okay. Do you want to put some meat in here and then pour the gravy inside so that it's just coming up to the top? No, right? I've done that. I've done that.
People are really good at making really pretty
Oh, man.
containers. So if we ask them really nicely, they might be able to throw in some ideas into the chat early this morning, so you guys can get a good idea of what theirs look like.
So good ways to cook things: grill, bake, steam, easy, awesome, right? Dry fry, like lightly oiled stir fry, awesome. Things to avoid: deep fried. All the gravy. Yeah. All right. This is awesome. Similar to what we would have talked about in the last challenge. If you went through the PN stuff, we did it all. It's going to be pretty similar to the hand portion sizing, which we would have talked about. Don't worry about that this time. Now we're giving you this. It's very simple, right? Simple is fine. Okay, so beyond that, we have the meal plan. So if you guys want to pull that out, you all have the same meal plan. Yeah. Yep. So if anyone wants vegetarian one, we'll print some of those off too. We have vegetarian and vegan. Was anyone gluten intolerant? Anyone any celiacs? Yeah. Okay. The hipster thing. Okay. So you got the meal plan. You can write your goals and action steps right on the front. Those of you guys that are in our individual coaching, we give you a specific one. So specific for you. Up to you guys. If you want to play around a little bit and start doing it a little bit differently, you can use this, right? But you can also use your specific one as well. So what you'll find in here is there are ranges, right? So if I go to Monday of week 1, 2/3 to 1 cup of this Amish oatmeal, right? Everything with those 3 asterisks and underline has a recipe online. You can go find it. They're all on our website, which links right to the HSN website too. So you'll find here though that things are in ranges. So 1 to 2 hard-boiled eggs. So if you are a woman looking to lose weight, you want to be on the low end of the ranges. If you are a woman looking to gain weight or a man trying to lose weight, you want to be about in the middle of the ranges. And then if you're a man looking for performance or to gain weight, you'll be at the top end or potentially even higher than the ranges. Okay? Cool. So this is not a prescription. This is not something that you have to follow. These are ideas, all right? You'll find 6 weeks of 7 days worth of ideas for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a couple of snacks, right? You don't have to follow this. You do not have to have on Monday this breakfast that's here, and then this lunch that's here, and then the snack that's here. We even will emphasize or push you not to do that, right? What we would rather have you do is prep. So if you got this Amish oatmeal on here, I want you to prep it and make a few days worth so you have breakfast ready to go. It's easy. You don't have to think about it. You grab and go, right? So that said, any of the breakfast is interchangeable. Any of the snacks are interchangeable. Any of the lunches are interchangeable, right? What you don't want to start switching around, you don't necessarily want to have lunch for breakfast just because there'll be a little bit different macro breakdown. It's pretty hard. Like if you start tracking macros and stuff, it's kind of hard to make a meal that hits exactly what you want to have. Right? So you aim for about, and then throughout the course of the day, you try to even it out. What we usually start people out at is a 40-30-30 split, 40% carbs, 30% proteins, 30% fats. Right? That 40-30-30 is based on calories, not grams. Right? So just remember that because fat is a lot more calorically dense. Okay, so reiterate again, not a prescription. You do not have to follow us. Think of this as a lot of great ideas. Cool. Any questions on that? All right, let's move into that colored sheet, the one we gave you in color. So you can use this with the meal plan as well. If it says, say, chicken, you're like, no, I don't want chicken. You can be like, oh, hey, catfish is in the same thing. I'll just have catfish instead. Because everyone says that, right? All right, yeah, pretty American, slightly European. All right, if you can find reindeer here in Malaysia, great. Sure. All right, so the idea here, the green means go, yellow means with a little bit of caution. Red doesn't mean avoid altogether, it just means be aware of and eat within reason. Right? Like,
Really good one. Just put it on your refrigerator. Have it there and available, and just part of your life.
cool. Yeah, and last thing with the meal plan, all those portion sizes are cooked. Right, so when you cook things, it'll usually get lighter because that water will evaporate off. Right? So if you see weights and stuff in there, portion sizes are cooked. Good. Especially, or think of rice too. Like,
Does that include like the protein powder? I mean, if I don't have like actual food, let's say, because here it's written like all kind of proteins are basically like from the lean source. So
yeah.
don't want to have anything for protein, or can I just have like protein shake? I mean,
Yeah. Okay, so let me back that up a little bit. This, well, kind of one of the bigger questions is, what if it's not on this list? That's fine. Like, the list is not all inclusive. There are lots of foods that aren't on it. You can try to have a good idea from it. It's okay to eat things that aren't on here, right? This is kind of like the meal plan. It's a little bit of a guide, not a Bible, right? Or a Quran. You don't have to follow it specific like that. Right? You don't have to follow it specifically. It's okay to deviate from what's not on it, right? We'll talk about that too. Like, a good way to get protein sources, especially for vegan, vegetarian side of things, is to have a protein shake, right? It's kind of, everything in nutrition. It's balancing. It's some good, some bad kind of thing, right? So we want to eat whole foods. We want to eat things that are minimally processed. Protein powders are processed. There's a lot of processing that goes into them, but they're fucking convenient, right? They're really useful, and they can be easy to digest because they are already broken down so far. So there's goods and bads to them. We're not saying don't have them. We're not saying only have them. Moderation, I guess. Cool. Questions on the meal plan or the plate method? Yeah, okay, no. You don't need to have a scale. Can it be useful? Yes. Do you need to have it? No. Scale is like, it's in the handbook, and we're gonna do a video on that too. Like, useful kitchen tools, really good stuff to have is like a crock pot, something you can set and forget. Scale, I think I picked one up for like 20, 25 ringgit on Lazada, so they're kind of cheap. Scale, like a kitchen scale, can be really useful just to like calibrate the system. You might think 300 grams of chicken breast looks like this, and then you weigh it and you're like, oh shit, okay, it's not. Or you might be like, oh yeah, I know what it looks like, I'm good. So it's a useful thing to come back to from time to time. Same with like MyFitnessPal and tracking. Like, you're probably not gonna do it for the rest of your life. It's hard to do. That's fine. It's a challenge. We're gonna do it now though. This is a challenge. Yeah, Subash is locked in. Some people love it, and some people should not do it at all, and that's okay. Right? That's okay. I hinted at. I didn't really talk about it. So, sorry. Third way you might like want to put together meals, you can use something like MyFitnessPal. You can plug in your ingredients and try to hit that kind of macro breakdown I was talking about: 40 carbs, 30 protein, 30 fats. Right? So you can kind of aim for something along those lines too. 40% carb, 30 protein fat. Usually a good starting point. Some people might be a little bit better with something else. Most diets out there just look to get more extreme with that, which isn't really necessary. Right? All right, so one thing I didn't write up that I want to talk about. Do we want to end with that? The action steps and goals? Okay, real quick, important dates. The kickoff for the Nutrition Challenge is now. All right, it will start on Monday. Rachel's my favorite. Yeah. All right, so the actual tracking, everything will start on Monday. You'll have a lot of information to go through in the next couple of days. Make sure you get you guys set up in that app, HSN app. If you're keen to use MyFitnessPal, get that one set up and get them linked as well. All right, Sunday the 29th, we will confirm with more details. We're going to do like a meal prep swap at our house. So if you want to join, you're going to bring 1 or 2 meals prepped of say like 4 to 8 servings, something like that, and we're going to swap. All right, so if everyone brings like 1 meal prepped, then like 10 people come, we got 10 meals and blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So you get to leave home with a bunch of variety. Yeah. At the midpoint, we'll do weigh-ins. So we'll do a midpoint weigh-in, see how it's going, see if we're on the right track. All right.
That's optional, only if you want to.
But yeah, I mean, what's the InBody? That's how we're seeing how everything's working, right? You got a few ways to do that. If you've done the scan, great. We'll put up a video how to do some circumference measurements. So if you're not here, you can do that, or if you want to do that on top, you can. You got the photos. So I encourage you all to take photos of yourselves too. So you're not going to notice changes in a mirror. You're going to notice changes if you look from a photo from 2 weeks ago and a photo from today and be like, oh shit, that's different. All right. But then we'll do the midpoint tracking too. So say you're like in the meal plan, you're following it, you feel good, right? The InBody is going to be our check. If you're putting on muscle, losing fat, great. If we're getting more towards your goals, right? If it's not working, then we need to reassess and figure out where that's going. All right, we'll do a challenge dinner. We'll do it either at 50 Cents or at Park Life. It'll be like early October. Keep an eye out for that. And then one of the big differences for this challenge is we're going to meet with you all individually towards the end. So we're going to sit down, look at where you're at with your goals, look at where it's going, what you can do from here. All right, so we'll do like, I think we just planned like a 20-minute sit-down kind of thing. All right, so we'll have dates and times that you can schedule that in the last couple of weeks. And then it ends Saturday on the 19th of October, so 6 weeks from today. Okay. Let's talk. I got you for like 10 more minutes. Let's talk goals and action steps. So if you look in your handbook, all right, there's a lot. Essentially, well, the third page. Yeah, and right on the front of the challenge thing. Talking about goal setting. So we want you all to set goals. This is your homework for the weekend. Go back, try to figure out what you want. All right, some of you have already done with us. Great, we have it. What do you want to get out of these 6 weeks? What do you want to get out of the next year? What do you want to get out of the next 5 years kind of thing? I'll go through how to set those goals. If you flip to the page next, there's kind of like goal 1, goal 2, action steps. That's the same thing you can put on the front of this meal plan. And then I believe in the back of the handbook, yep, in the back of the handbook, you have options to fill in for 1 year goals, 1 month goals, and 5 year goals. Have a think, it's great. One of the best ways to do goal setting is you pick like an end game and you break it down into smaller goals. You might want to know you want to have something in 5 years. All right, what do I need to have in 1 year to do that? What do I need to have in 1 month to do that kind of thing? All right. So good goals. We want them to be SMART. That's the acronym: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. So I usually just kind of group these together. S&M, specific and measurable. So specific, like I want to get better at CrossFit isn't specific, right? Like I want to, and it's not measurable, right? But like I want to PR my Fran time is specific, or I want to run a 5K under 30 minutes is specific and measurable, right? So don't say I want to run faster, say I want to do this thing. Attainable and realistic, right? If I go out and say I want to run a 10K in 40 minutes, that's not very realistic for me. And I'm not that good a runner. No, my goal might be 55, 60 minutes, right? Right? That'll be attainable and realistic. Similarly, like, I'm not going to the Olympics right now. Like, I'm not going to the CrossFit Games. If I make that goal, it's not going to happen, right? So you want to make a goal you can achieve. It can be lofty, but have it be within the realm of something you can achieve. And then the last one, time sensitive, right? You want, like, I'm going to do it by this time. So in 1 month, I'll do this, or in 1 year, I'll do this kind of thing. Cool. Yeah, and then what I already said, start with the end in mind, and then you're going to set smaller goals, breaking down into that time frame. Performance goals, you want things that you want for you, right? Your priorities are your priorities. What you want is good for you. You might have someone that doesn't really care about putting on more muscle mass and doing that. Cool. Find something that works for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be health and fitness. Obviously, that's kind of our thing here, but you can do professional lifestyle ones as well. And then what we'll usually look at is the action steps. This is kind of the crux of our coaching program too, is that set these goals. Okay, like in 6 weeks, right? I want to lose 2 kilos of body fat. All right, what am I going to do to do that? Right? Some of this we've already built out for you, right? So you know what I'm going to do if I want to lose 2 or 3 kilos of fat in the next 6 weeks? I'm going to log my meals. I'm going to have a look at what I'm doing, and I'm going to try to eat balanced meals. So I'm going to try to make meals from the meal plan, blah, blah, blah. Boom. There's your action steps right there if you want. But it can be other things too. Like, I want to have 10 unbroken double unders in 6 weeks, right? So you got to practice. Right? So the key to getting double unders, okay, 10 minutes a day, I'm just going to practice my double unders. Right? You want a heavier squat or something like that, you need to squat. If you want a faster run time, you need to run, right? So action steps are something you can do and something that you will do. And also action steps, we want you to be really successful with them. So if you write something down, it's not a goal, it's something you're going to do. Right? And if it's not a 9 out of 10, something you're definitely going to do, make it easier, right? So maybe it's going to be 7 days a week, I'm going to spend 10 minutes practicing double unders. You're not going to do it probably because you're going to miss a day, right? What can you do 9 out of 10 times, like from week to week? You could probably do 4 days a week, or maybe it's 3 days a week, something like that. So I wouldn't put as your action steps to get a perfect score in points every day. You're not going to get a perfect score in points every day. That's okay. The goal isn't necessarily to get a perfect score. The goal is to try to be better, right? And with lifestyle, nutrition, all this stuff, if you want to get better at it, challenges are great. We bring a big group of people together. Everyone's in it together, trying to do something awesome. But it's not about the 6 weeks. It's about the next 20 years, right? So we want you guys to start building new habits so that if you come weigh in 2, 3, 4, 6 months after this, you're still kind of trending in the direction that you want to trend to, because we built these habits through this time. Building habits means it should be sustainable, repeatable. It should be stuff that you can practice every day. Questions?
Food blogging. So how many meals or like boxes does like we need to eat? Is there like a number, like 3, or it's up to me?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Through the packet for the next 24
Yeah.
hours. That's everyone's homework. Go home now, look through that packet, get on HSN, log into that, and then come back to us with more questions, because most things are detailed in that. The
Yep.
next 24 to 48 hours will be chaos for you. Everyone's going to panic in some capacity. Every single one of you. So that's okay. We will also be panicking for the next 48 hours. That's fine. Go through everything today. Look through it. Don't panic. Everything is easy and detailed and in there. We've given you 2, but you will also be using it on a regular plate or in a bowl and things like that. So don't go through the meal plan, look through in that capacity, and you're going to kind of see.
Let me
Because
briefly.
I'm on my microphone.
Yeah, let me briefly summarize that, because if you're watching this later, you won't see it. Question is, how much should I eat? How many of these thingies, whatever. We're leaving that kind of loose. Like, I want you guys to eat enough food, but not too much food. What a lot of you will find if you start cleaning up what you do eat, eating whole foods, you're not going to be as hungry as you think you are, right? It's hard to get a lot of calories unless you're a specific few. It's hard to get a lot of calories eating whole foods, right? And some people actually find that. The people that are struggling to put on muscle usually find that it's hard to put on mass eating whole foods, right? But we want you to start with that. So you can start the meal plan, what I said. Woman looking to lose weight, lower end of the range. Men looking to gain weight, high end of the range. Woman looking to gain, men looking to lose, middle of the range. So you can start there too, right?
Actually, the reason I asked because it's kind of connected to the intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna have like only 8 hours, eating window. So I'm probably gonna like do two
Okay.
months.
All right. So, and then what Kara said, go through all the stuff. There's a lot of information out there, and there's going to be a lot coming over the next 6 weeks. Take the next couple of days, read everything we've given you. Make sure you look into the app. That said, the app, like if you have questions, ask them in the app, ask them in the group. That way everyone gets the answer. Now, intermittent fasting. A few people have asked this. Intermittent fasting is okay. I like it. It's going to be one of the few like fad diets that stay. You'll still be hearing about it in 20 years. It's good, right? It's shouldn't be like nothing diet should be dogmatic, right? Or labeled.
If you're doing a 9:15 class, head down now.
Yeah, it's 9/11. Okay, cheers, guys. Right? Nutrition diets way too often become religious, almost not in like a God sense, but in like I'm this. Like, it doesn't have to be dogmatic like that. Intermittent fasting can be great. Eating's also great, right? So if you're hungry, eat, right? If you train hard, if you're lifting a lot of weights, you need fuel to put on muscle, right? If you're not giving your body fuel, your body's going to go like starvation mode, and it's going to be like, oh, muscle's expensive. I can't have muscle. I don't have enough coming in to support that muscle, so I'm not going to put it on, kind of thing, right? So if you're training hard, intermittent fasting is not very good, right? If you're not training hard, intermittent fasting can be great.
But actually, for the last 2 months since I joined CrossFit, I'm like practicing on myself. So when I was coming, like I eat like a very small portion of food, like let's say every day.
Yeah.
I like during because the workout is a lot of functional, like metabolic conditioning. So I have like a lot of stomach aches, feel like I want to throw up. But when I start doing intermittent fasting, so like when I come to classes, most of the time, like 90% I'm fasting. I feel a lot better. Like I get a better pump.
Yeah.
I got a better I got a better like workout.
Yeah. So that's week 5. We're gonna get into that stuff. That's feeling around the workout. Yep.
So shall I continue doing what I'm doing?
Yep. A lot of this stuff. We want you guys to do what works well for you, but there's also ways to be better usually too. Right? You want to get a little fuel in before you work out, but you don't want to be nauseous. So maybe it's less, or maybe it's something like liquid, like a protein shake, something small, something that's more easily digested. But yeah, we got a whole week devoted to that stuff too. Cool. Cheers, boss. All right, good. Yeah, if you're looking to join the 9, it starts in 2 minutes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. And yeah, go get logged into the HSN one. Go through all the stuff. Come back to us if you have more questions. Cute.